Hello, everyone. Why boring routines build strong people. The reason that this is because there's a lot that goes into that. Though it's boring, and though enough people do not like boring things, from a goal being set, from something that's practical, no matter the nature of relationships, platonic, business, or romantic, most individuals don't like boring. But the reason that builds strong people is because what that comprise of, which is discipline, delayed gratification, hard work, focus, being his or her own fan, not needing any external validation. They say most things are repetition. Repetition for enough people is boring. And again, there's some people that cannot function if they're not being entertained. There are some people built like that. There are some people currently and in the future that will not create strong people because it starts with the individuals and it continues to build up, trickles down to other folks. The reason this is because they don't want to do their part. And the reason they don't want to do their part because they're not being entertained. Studying. You all have went to school, even those individuals that may have dropped out of school, or those that have completed all of their schooling, complete adults. You all know if you going over a subject that you're not fond of, it could be boring. But that builds strong individuals because they're putting in the time, they're putting in the work, and they don't have a problem with repetition. Repetition to those kind of individuals is not boring, it's just part of the process. It's a necessity to get to where they need to go, a necessity to pull themselves out of the hole, a necessity to be action oriented and completed what they set their hearts and desires on. Now, while boring routines build strong people is because they're doing less talking and more motion. They're moving with the waves of the ocean or the waves in the pool if you go to that amusement park during the summertime. You all know about the wave pool, those that have kids and even those that don't have kids, because we were all once kids, so we know about the wave pool. Moving on. That's how strong people are built, by doing the boring things. The boring things, they build strong people. Now, if you all think I'm playing, you all can look around in you all's own life, or you all can think about the people that you all met along the journey of this thing called life, and you will see most people that advance and progress, they didn't have to be entertained. They did it because they were entertained by the process. They were entertained by the challenge. Because, I mean, after all, they understood or they understand that the challenge is between them and them. It's just between you and your shadow. Or let me not say shadow. You and then the lazy side of you. Because we're all human. We get to a point where we want to maybe relax for a little bit, get comfortable. Instead of one day, we get comfortable for 3 days consecutively. And that can kind of throw us off kilter. But let's go through professions for a minute. Those doctors, you know, they did a lot of boring routine, a lot of schooling. They were in school for a lot of years. I always use this example because it's highly relatable. Anyone that's trying to grow and learn a new skill, it takes a lot of repetition because a lot of these skills that you learn, not to mention everyone learns at a different rate. So just off of that, it's going to take repetition, and then you have to master these. Let's call it the final bosses, and the final bosses are taking these tests to make sure that you have the right information to move on and be deemed a superior in the field. Maybe from taking the SAT, the ACT, or getting your masseuse license, or becoming a coach in the sports, any field, becoming a singer, um, even a background check. You know, that requires that too. You know, that can be a boring routine for those companies spending all that money on background checks, but it builds not only strong people but also strong organization. That's why it takes time. Depending on where you live, it may have taken 7 days or sometimes 16 days. But if you do not like boring routines, then I'm not saying it's not possible, but it's unlikely that you'll become a strong person. But most of the people that are successful outside of the politics of things, and sometimes it's not always politics, because people still got to put in the work themselves. You know, when they get put in certain arenas or put in certain rooms, they still have to make it happen, and that's something that people do not want to believe. You know, let's take a news anchor, or let's say someone that does YouTube just starting out, or take someone that's a veteran YouTube, and a veteran meaning they have been on YouTube for 5 years or more, right? They got better and they evolved due to enjoying the boring routines. Thus, made them a strong person, made them a strong personality. And if you go all the way back in history, when times were different and there were different challenges, and people could drop out of school and go work at the plant with manufacturing, a lot of that was boring routine, working on the assembly line, boring routine. But guess what? Henry Ford and them, Henry Ford helped build strong people. And then guess what? All of the employees that were working in Detroit during that time period in the 60s, they built strong people, thus being themselves, and then being able to take their success home and teach their children, teach their kids. But understand this: if they didn't enjoy the process of boring routines, they would never have strong people. You know what they would have? They would have what we have currently with some people that don't take accountability. They want to blame everyone in the room except themselves for their situation. And this can cross all ages, all races, cultures, and things of that. You know, you have some people that's blaming the president because they're not at the plight where they want to be in life. You have individuals blaming their parents or their childhood, what they lacked, right? And then you have some people blame racism, right? Now, the boring routines that build strong people, they're not blaming racism. Now, they understand that racism exists, but you know what they focus on? In my opinion, they focus on the beauty, which is everyone gets 24 hours in a day. No matter no matter what, everyone gets 24 hours. So, like this, since everyone has 24 hours, though everyone has a different work schedule, you know you have a sector of people that love to sleep in. You know there's a sector of people that love to get up at the crack of dawn and get their day started. Because again, we only have 24 hours in a day. And you make do with the time you have. But then again, being patient, being organized, having structure, that is boring to most folks. That's not entertaining. You have to get up daily, moment by moment, putting in that work, and you see no results. That can become irritating to everyone, myself included. I'm not above that. You know, that could become very boring. However, I know that, as you know, those out there that enjoy boring routines because it's making you a strong person In turn, you'll be able to make other individuals stronger around you just by them seeing what you're doing. You know that it's required. It can't be escaped. But then again, it can be escaped if you just want to be in the same position. And time is going to come, so you might as well enjoy the boring routines and make something happen. So I just wanted to bring this to you all today. Hopefully you all enjoyed this, and I'll catch you all on the next one. Peace.